Hello, and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the price action pivoter's main system strategy results for this year. In a previous video, whose link I will put in the top right corner of this video as well as in the description, I covered the last 3 years of the hypothetical backtested results using the main system strategy, no curve fitting, no hindsight bias. Most of the day, it's essentially looking for trades between 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that's 30 minutes until close. Essentially, it's looking for trades Monday through Friday, same price target, same stop, same trailing stop, same money management rules, same trade and risk management rules. Essentially, nothing is curve fitted. You have the actual hypothetical results going back 3 years in that video, again in the top right corner here or on the bottom of the description, in the description section. This is the actual results for this year so far, January 1st, 2024, February 22nd, which is today, 2024. And the reason I am shooting this video and I'm going to be releasing this video is because I keep getting inquiries as to how the system has done since then, as well as people who say, well, Rafi, I have my own strategy. So can you add my own strategy to your system that has plenty of trade management rules already built in, money management, risk management, trade management, etc. So can you add my own? I do that pretty routinely for clients. Again, I tend to deal with clients that are active day traders, essentially. And so this is strategy 1, strategy 2, and then we can add a strategy 3. And I do that again pretty routinely to anybody who essentially wants that to happen. But here's what has been happening. And this is a challenge that I'm going to lay out to anybody. So the way I approach this business is a little bit different than pretty much how others approach this business. In this industry, software engineers like myself, essentially they'll code whatever you tell them to code. So if you say, here's my set of rules for entry, here's my set of rules for exit, etc., they'll code that for you, no input. Majority of the time, they're not traders themselves, and so they're not licensed, they're not anything like that, so they're not going to give you any input. What I do is, I've done this as far as building strategies, hundreds of strategies. If you were to do a collection of all of the code that I've written, if you were to line itemize them, you'd get millions of lines of code. So I've done hundreds of strategies, and most people get their strategy ideas from either YouTube videos or Investopedia, or some people subscribe to magazines, and they'll have some entry rules in there. Some people read a book and they'll go, wow, it's fascinating, I want to use this strategy. Whatever you've seen, guys, chances are it's already been out there, and the odds are very high that I've already seen it. So I'll get strategy requests that are like 4 or 5 pages long, and I've already done that like about 10 years ago. And in fact, I had more rules than the rules that they've given me. So I'd have to actually take code off to meet their strategy requests. So what I do is I tell them the truth. I say, guys, I've already done this strategy, and unfortunately, it doesn't work the way you think it does. And then they'll argue back, and they'll say, you know what, Rafi, I've back tested this for 6 months. Of course, I don't want to argue with people and say if that you can't back test a strategy unless it's been coded. Okay, so what they mean when they say back test is they've actually just they have hindsight bias, so they just basically left arrowed on the chart and they looked at it, eyeballed it, and said, yeah, I would have gone long here and I would have exited here. In hindsight, everything is perfect and beautiful. Okay, but the problem is that that's not how trading works. Okay, and so it may appear like your strategy would have worked, but it just ain't so. Okay, so what I've decided to do is I tell people the truth, and when I do that, they were ready to buy the Mach 15, which is the only time I actually I add customized strategies to it. It's not free, guys. I do have to get paid for that, but once I'm paid, I do build their custom strategies, and I have several people that have done that. But these people, when I tell them the truth that their strategy isn't going to work because I've already tested it, they get mad. Okay, they get upset. They don't throw a tantrum or anything, but just they don't want to buy the Mach 15 because now I've insulted their ego. Okay, they came up with this idea, and how dare I challenge that idea? Okay, I'm just trying to look out for you. So if you are going to be upset by me telling the truth, I've come up with something new. All right, here's what I'm going to do. From now on, I am not going to give my input as to what a strategy is, unless somebody says, Rafi, give me your fair input, then I will. But I'm not going to volunteer that information. What I'm going to say is, you give me the specs, and I will build it according to your specs. And I'll go one step further. If your strategy, using the same parameters as my strategy, main system strategy, is able to outperform, meaning it's got a better net profit than my strategy, and a lower max drawdown than my strategy, in a 12-month study, so within a 1 year, 12-month study, I will be happy to refund the full payment of the strategy development cost, which is an extra fee that I charge on top of the license for Mach 15, back to you. So after 12 months, run a full back test and see if your strategy would have beaten my strategy, main system strategy, by on both ends, okay, on the net profit side as well as on the max drawdown. So it has to have a higher net profit than my net profit, my strategy's net profit, as well as a lower max drawdown than my main system strategy's max drawdown. If you can do those two things after a 12-month run, not a lucky 1 month, not a lucky, even 3 months, but a 12-month run, I'll be happy to give you a full refund, 100% refund in writing, in an actual agreement, okay? And I'm not somebody in some country that you're not going to be able to reach. I'm in Los Angeles, I'm in the United States, I'm a licensed commodity trading advisor, which means I'm background checked by the FBI before they issue a license out. So it's the real deal. You will get an absolute refund if your strategy after 12 months can beat my strategy. That's how confident I am, guys. It's not going to, okay? I'm telling you right now what the answer is. It's not going to beat it. But that's okay. In case you feel so strongly about it that you're 100% right about this, that it's going to, that's fine. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to do anything like that. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to say, okay, give me the specs. I'll code it exactly the way you want it, okay? And we'll turn that into a strategy. And don't give me the indicator stuff, guys. Like, can you add one more indicator? That's somebody who's essentially not wanting to trade via an automated system. They want to look at the chart and make a decision. Plenty of code tinkerers you can find. They are essentially strategy wizard or strategy builder experts, and they're going to use ChatGPT along with that, and they're going to call themselves software engineers. That's fine. Use them and have an indicator built. I'm not going to build an indicator. What I will build is real strategies that are executing entries, okay? So if you have a strategy that's like that, you feel very strongly about it, and I've seen all kinds, guys, all kinds, in PDFs and Word documents, in emails that are like almost dissertation papers, like all sorts, okay, of people giving me their strategies. Plus, I've got hundreds of strategies that I've worked on myself over the last 10 years, and I've been I traded for over 20 years, okay? So I can tell you that it's likely something I've already seen. I already have the strategy, very likely. If your strategy can beat my strategy on both net profit, so top and bottom line, net profit as well as max drawdown, by all means, you deserve a full refund for the payment that you pay for the custom strategy building session, okay? So I say all of that, and I'll show you what I've got so far this year. This is for January, and you can see it here until February. These are the parameters that I used. It's the same exact parameters that you're going to find in the video that I've included in the description, below in the description, for the last 3 years. This means nothing has changed. A lot of the videos that you'll see on YouTube, they will not discuss their stop. They won't discuss that. They'll talk about their profit target. They'll talk about everything else except their stop. You'll notice that, okay? The reason for it is because the stop has been inverted. So they have a much bigger stop than their profit target, okay? So the R ratio is inverted. And so they'll show you like a 90% win rate or an 87%, which you can easily do with this system as well if that's what you wanted. You can invert the price target and the risk per trade or your stop, and you're going to get between 80 to 95% win rate. But it's a moot point because the business that you're in is you're trying to increase your bottom line, right? You're trying to increase your return on your investment. So if your return on investment is going to be measured by your win rate, that's sort of not very telling, to say the least, okay? Your return on investment gets measured by your net profit. How much did you come up versus how much you invested, right? Not your win rate. And so this is what we have so far, and February has been actually a shaky month. We had the Fed announcement. It was not in line with expectations, right? They were anticipating of cutting 5 to 6 times by the end of the year. That appears not to be the case anymore. However, the bulls still now are hanging their thesis on two different things. One, in my opinion, of course, everything I'm going to say is opinion here, in that they believe that further cuts are going to be happening sometime this year, perhaps 2 cuts, maybe 3 cuts, who knows? But that's their guesstimate. That's what their view is. That's what they're speculating. Moreover, Nvidia yesterday was rocking things a little bit. The market was actually nervous about the Nvidia report. As you can see, they hit it out of the ballpark, and the market is rallying really nicely over that. And so it is still a bullish trend that we're seeing. We're still in a bull market from what I'm seeing from a day trader's perspective. And I know bears get mad at me when I say that. I understand, not trying to make you mad at me. What I'm trying to tell you is the truth, in that in a day trading system, we don't care about fundamentals. We just don't. Do we appreciate fundamentals? Absolutely. As an investor, would I appreciate fundamentals? 100%. We're on the same page when it comes to that. But we're day trading, which could be like a 15-minute thing. It could be a 4-hour thing. Okay, so in fact, we have an average time here. Average time in the market is 144 minutes. That's it. So we're in and we're out. And so fundamentals don't really play a major role when it comes to day trading like this. Okay, this is on the 1-minute chart. People have been asking for, like, how have you done so far? I've been really busy with another project that I'm working on, so I haven't made a lot of videos, but I just wanted to get that out, that for those who, and it's funny enough, I'm getting a lot of custom strategy requests when there's a beautiful strategy here that's been well back tested, well documented. It's being used by a bunch of people, and still there are people who are coming in and saying, I've got my own custom strategy. Now, as you guys know, some of you know at least, that I was a money manager before I did this, and it was the same thing happening on that side, right? It was the same exact thing. I called it the NIH factor. What's NIH? Not invented here. So if I would go to a firm, a hedge fund, and I'd say, look, I've got a system that is going to blow your mind. Just check it out, okay? Take a look at it. They would love it. They would say, this is great. There's only one problem with it. The NIH factor. It's not invented here. And many of those funds, guys, people get surprised. Many of the hedge funds go belly up in 5 to 7 years. That's their typical lifespan. For restaurants, you know how they say it's 2 years? For hedge funds, it's 5 to 7 years. They go out of business for the same exact reason. It's a 3-letter word, ego. You can't have ego in this business. You really can't. Okay? You absolutely can. You just won't be successful long term. You can get lucky, and I've seen lots of people get lucky. If you have that ego in this business, unfortunately, long term, I've seen them come and go. You can't last. It's just not going to happen. But those that don't have that ego, who will approach it with a rational, logical view, and they'll say, show me the numbers, and what are your thoughts on this? And they'll listen to input. Those are the ones who typically last in this business, okay? Yes, it costs more upfront to do that, right? It's sort of the same thing when it comes to hiring a plumber. If there was, for example, I bought my house, the inspector said, look, there is a potential leak, so you should know about it. And what I would do is I would immediately change the plumbing as soon as you get in. Just copper repipe the whole thing and be done with it. I said, sure. Now, I could have gone to YouTube, right, and said, let me see how to repipe copper house, okay? And I could have gone some guy who's got like a 17 video series to explain everything that I'm supposed to do. And I could have gone to Home Depot, got everything together, maybe even hired some help from Home Depot and said, come help me do this and build it my own, right? And build it myself. And I would have probably saved thousands of dollars versus what I actually did, which is hired a plumber. And him and his crew took about 2 days. They took everything out. They put all the new stuff in. They got everything patched up, redone, everything beautiful. And I've been using it for the past 7 years, okay? And I can tell you that I had those two options, and it cost me thousands more to go with the plumber route. But that's the route that I chose, because you have to trust the professionals, not the YouTube guys. I know you're watching this on YouTube, but I'm telling you what it is. Most of what you see on YouTube, most of it is essentially they're in their 20s. They're not licensed. They're not software engineers. Even within the NinjaTrader ecosystem, guys, many of those software developers, those vendors, excuse me, I meant to say vendors, not software developers. have lost their software developers who don't want to work with them anymore because they keep going back to the software developer and saying, idea didn't work. We need to scratch that. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. At some point, the software engineer goes, look, I've done this like 12 times. All of your ideas have failed. I can't keep going over my code over and over again. It's not going to work. And at some point, the software engineer feels like, you know what, I'm not adding value here. And so they stop wanting to work. Guess what they do? Those vendors that are competing with me on NinjaTrader ecosystem, selling strategies that are competing with mine, they are left with no choice but to contact me. I have email after email after email by my own competitors wanting my help to help them with their software on NinjaTrader ecosystem. Okay? So I'm telling you guys now from experience, and it's the truth, that what you see on YouTube, 95, maybe 97% of it is hocus pocus. Don't believe it. Okay? It isn't true. They're hiding facts. They're not showing you. Something's always missing. Usually it's the stop from what I've seen. They don't talk about their stop price. They only talk about their profit target. Anybody who says this is the strategy that I've used, you say, okay, are you licensed? That means you haven't been part of this industry. You haven't gone through the licensing procedure. You're not licensed. Right off the bat, the conversation should end. The second question, let's say you somehow say, I don't care if they're not licensed. Okay, what if, say, are you a software engineer? No, but I know how to go to, NinjaTrader Strategy Builder and I can build it. Plus, if I have any problems, I'll go to ChatGPT. Guys, how advanced do you think that strategy is going to be? You're likely to get a bunch of crossovers, slopes, MACDs, RSIs. Those are the type of things you're going to get. Maybe market profile. That's it. That's what you're going to get from these things. They're not going to give you actual quantitative strategies that work. Okay, it's basically you're using free indicators that come with the package, that come with NinjaTrader for free. It's included to come up with your strategy. I mean, think about it. Imagine if I went as a money manager and I went to an institution and I said, guys, I've got this awesome strategy. They go, what is it about? Tell me. And I said to them, whoa, well, it's got RSI, it's got MACD, it's got crossovers, plus the slope has to be at a particular angle before we enter that trade, And I don't use that silly 5 and 20 stuff. No. I use 9 and 14. Those are my, and I don't use that silly SMA or EMA stuff. Oh, no. I'm at TEMA, triple exponential moving average. Oh, yeah, I figured it out. I would be kicked out of that room immediately. Okay, they'd be like, this is a joke? This can't be the case. Okay, like you can't be telling me about free indicators and expect for me to park money with you. Okay. So in order for a product to be investable, it has to demonstrate years of back tests, and you need to be able to see all of the parameters that are being used. If you don't see all of the parameters that are being used, that's a real problem. Something is wrong. They should be showing you that. Moreover, you should not be seeing a Renko chart, okay, that or Renko bars or Heikin Ashi bars or volume bars or tick bars or anything silly like that, because the back test becomes a moot point. It is a useless, ineffective, untruthful back test when you're not using minute bars, whether you're using 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter, minute bars, okay? And moreover, the strategy has to be calculated at the close of the bar. Why is that so crucially important? Because just ask yourself, what information do data providers store? O, open, H, high, L, low, C, close. And they also store volume. OHLC. That C is for close. They have that information. They don't have what the price was in between the open and the high and the low and the close. They don't have that. But with Renko bars, Heikin Ashi bars, and other such silliness, when you run a back test, you're going to get the most rosy, beautiful back test. You're like, $300,000 a year. Jeez Louise. Why didn't I see this before? I could have quit my job. I could have punched my boss in the face and been done with it. Okay? And just been trading my whole life. All right? But that's just not true, guys. It simply isn't true. So what you want to do is make sure that you use a system that is using minute bars, that is using the strategies calculated at the close of the bar, and it has a detailed money management system, a risk management system, and a trade management system, which a price action pivoter, both the original version and version 2 have. Okay, so you want to make sure you're using the right system. And again, if you have your own strategy, you feel confident about it, I'm not trying to dissuade you from using your own strategy. Absolutely, we can do that for you. We'll add a third strategy right here. This is the second strategy. We'll put the third strategy right underneath it for you, and I'll code it up for you, tell you how much it's going to cost. We'll get you an agreement, and that says that within 12 months, it's not within, but after 12 months. So after 12 months, if your system has beaten my net profit, it's got a higher net profit than my system does. When I say my system, I'm referencing the main system strategy. Okay? If it beats my net profit, my main system strategy net profit, and the max drawdown is lower than mine for the entire 12 months, then you will get a full refund on the payment that you made to me to build you that custom strategy, because you've done something that I thought was not possible to do based on my experience, not on my opinion. Okay, based on factual experience of nearly a decade of doing this, of coding this stuff. Okay, so if you've got something that nobody else had, it's not seen anywhere, all the research that I've put into this, okay, research, like major research that I've put into this, scouring the internet, scouring Investopedia, thinking about ideas, going over the charts, running the numbers, machine learning, Python, over and over again, tons and tons of time have been put into this. If you can outdo all of that and give me a strategy that can beat mine, kudos to you. Okay, I want to announce your name, because in fact, I got to call people and let them know about you, because you should be doing a lot more than what you're doing. You shouldn't be just running money for yourself. Okay, I would encourage you at that point to get licensed, not only give you a refund, but tell you how you should get licensed. Okay, and definitely do something with that, because you've got a skill. All right, so there's a lot of people will pay for that skill. So this is all I have for this video. I hope it's been helpful. Again, you can see the last 3 years, the year 21, the year 22, and the year 23. The last 3 years in my other video with YouTube, they only like sort of show the little box in the top right corner for a little bit, but you'll find it in the description as to what that video's link is, so you can check it out. Check out that video. I have a full frame of reference as to what it is. And moreover, I'm doing something else. To whoever buys my licenses, I'm noticing that when you run it, some people will get nervous, especially if they've never used an automated system before and they've been trading manually or semi-automated fashion, where basically only their trailing stop and their stop was automated, okay? Or potentially their profit target too, but they haven't really done anything else as far as money management, things like that. So it makes some people nervous. What I'm doing is, after the fact, if anybody wants a Zoom session with me to have a one-on-one consulting, to go over everything, to, maybe perhaps talk about best practices, I'm happy to do that as well. Okay, so I'm happy to take on those calls. I want to help people as much as I possibly can with the time that I have allotted. And I'm literally working, guys, around the clock doing this stuff. I take pretty much one day off. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, please email me directly, Rafi@pinnaclequant.com, RAFFI @pinnaclequant.com. Until next time, take care of yourselves and God bless.